You're listening to Sit, Talk, and Listen podcast with your hosts, Payroll Rob and Zany Bauer.
Yes, hello, it is us. We are back. It has only been 3 short weeks since our last podcast. Yes, August 26th was our last podcast. And here we are with Sit, Talk, Listen again. And it is September 17th, 2024.
We had a regular thing going there for a while.
Hey, this time of year is the busy season. I mean, I get super busy in September and October myself, so I just know, it's not a big surprise to me, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Things happen, things change, people change.
Feelings change too.
Yeah. Wish they wouldn't have changed you. I don't know.
Never thought the circumstances would have changed you.
God, oh, mother. God. Well, starting off on a strong foot. So yeah, 3 weeks of time have gone by. We're a little bit older, more mature. What did we have? We had Matt and John, our buddies, come in town from Indiana, catch a little baseball game, a little bit of St. Louis culture, going to some emos, get Matt to eat on some lasagna from the hill, and you know what? We've changed his opinion on lasagna. He's not as big of a lasagna hater these days.
I don't know if that's true.
He said it was the best lasagna he's ever had.
Yeah, but I mean, if the best piece of turd that I've ever ate would still be a piece of turd. Not saying that Matt is.
Wait, you eat pieces of turds?
Comparing, and I can't do this yet again, but
that's okay. It's just for the intro. The headphones are a little jankety sometimes, so Xavier's going to take them off, and he's going to get back in the zone.
3rd episode in a row doing it with no headset. Raw Dog podcast.
It's all right. Don't, with nobody calling in, we don't have to have the headphones.
One day.
As long as you're hearing the intro. One day this will be a smoother operation.
Well, phone calls, cameras on us.
The whole kit and caboodle. Live guests. Yeah, who knows?
That would be awesome. That is not even just we can dream. It will happen. That is a plan down the road.
Dream a little dream for the show.
But my vibe of my perception of Matt eating lasagna was it was good to him, but it was more like, yeah, Bob, this isn't bad.
No.
But I don't think he would go there next time and order lasagna.
Well, that's probably true. But he's not thinking of lasagna as the big trash dish that he made it sound like previously. I think. Who knows?
So shout out to Matt and John. It was a fun time. We went and saw you play at... we saw you play. It was fun, dude. It was a fun set. A couple weddings, parties came through. You guys sang them little tunes, and we got the old "fuck KU" at Mr. Brightside.
Yeah.
That is my favorite Missouri tradition.
Yeah, it's catching on big time in the last 5-10 years with all any kids that have gone out to Mizzou and brought it back to the hometowns, and so yeah, everybody around the area is probably familiar with the young kids. Screaming.
What do they play now at the stadium? They try to play beat KU.
Yeah. Try to overcome it. No way. Ain't gonna happen that way. Shout out to Hatched with some incredible brunch and breakfast food. Wow. Thanks for bringing us there, Xavier. Eyes wide open.
It is my favorite brunch place.
It's took my top vote after just one time of being there now.
Good.
So, going to give them the shout out. If anybody's looking for recommendations, I recommend it big time.
Right there on Loughborough and Gravois.
Right across from the QT, just about. Yep. So give it a go.
Unbelievable. The owners there are son and dad combo. Dad works in the back. Son does the front of the house, but they both come by and they're so personable. They talk to every table, and like you could just tell the passion. And I mean, we all 5 I think got different dishes and just knocked it out of the park with everyone. Yeah,
sublime, good, great, grand stuff is what I say.
And
what else? What else is going on over these last 3 weeks?
Cardinals done.
Yeah, we can just go ahead and glide on by that one. Cardinals are out of it. Big, wonderful, great, grand.
We suck.
Same feeling. We suck.
I still watch just because
I don't. I haven't watched in probably 2 weeks. What's the fun?
Yeah, I just love sitting down and watching sports. It's a good relaxation at the end of my day.
I mean, I get that. If I'm watching anything on TV these days, it's typically live sports. But if nothing is on that's gonna intrigue me, then I usually just go do something else. You know, who knows?
Tend to the garden.
Tend to the gardens, twiddle my thumbs. You know.
What else has happened?
Oh,
3 weeks have gone by.
You know, football season's here. Mizzou's 3-0. We're happy with that. NFL's 2 weeks in, and everybody thinks they know how the season's going to play out.
No, all I know is that you don't know after 2 weeks.
Is it fire as ass?
Fire his ass.
You got Saquon Barkley dropping balls. No, he's been a beast though for the last 2 games. So anybody that's actually complaining about Saquon is really just
we were kind of talking off air. That seems to be a point of contention, and I think a good little topic. Just a little
segue, yeah.
Brant, who had not watched last night, watched the highlight today after I told him how bad the play was, and he said the loss is not at all on Saquon. It is on the coach for deciding not to run, which there's definitely an argument to be made there.
To that.
40 seconds more run off the clock would have been useful, even
but
if
he makes
doesn't.
the play. It's not even a question. Nobody even thinks about the call.
I personally think the defense just being non-existent and letting Atlanta drive down.
That's also a big factor.
That's not even prevent defense, because that was, I don't know, it was just non-existent.
Yeah, that was wild to me. I couldn't believe how easy it seemed they were just moving the ball.
Because prevent defense would be preventing big plays, and they weren't doing that.
No, definitely weren't doing that.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched most of it.
I mean, that was just, it was banana land, dude. I've never seen a team just go down the field so epic.
Yeah. No,
you see teams get like a big pass to get a field goal.
Yeah.
They have to go 80 yards with no timeouts and just do it with not a problem.
Yeah, big chunks plays up the sideline, getting out of bounds, just doing all the things that, you got to do to win. And it didn't even look like the Eagles' defense was thinking about playing. They're like, oh, shit, we thought the game was over.
Unbelievable. So, yeah, football season's full swing, full effect.
Yep. Do love that. Do love that.
Is there any topics you have before? Because I was going to pivot football season into the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we can. I mean, we can go down that road.
So, football season's here. It's the talk of America, as it always is. Football and Taylor Swift are the king and queen of this country, it seems.
I tell you can't even watch it.
And now they're married, kind of.
Football and then Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
They are. And it's like, I'm not a Chiefs fan, but that's what gets shown on CBS here locally in St. Louis. We are now a Chiefs town, I guess. So every Sunday we're subjected to watching the Chiefs on CBS if that's the only channel. I don't have Red Zone or Sunday Ticket, so I have to watch whoever the Chiefs are playing. And it just every single time there's a Chiefs broadcast, anytime something happens, like let's cut to Taylor Swift for 3 seconds and see how she's reacting. It's like who gives a flying shit? I guess people care, but is that necessary? Is like all this necessary? CBS,
even with the slow start of Travis Kelce's season, he's only has like 3 catches on the year, and they're still just. I mean,
look at Travis Kelce's girlfriend, the way she reacts to a touchdown that he didn't even catch.
Yes, but like I said, I would say the 2 biggest pop culture phenomenons in America are Taylor Swift and the NFL. And so obviously everybody knows that the Super Bowl is, I mean, you could argue it's
most eyes on one thing at a given time.
It's getting up there to be about as big as Christmas, I think.
Well, yeah, sure.
As far as an event.
Well, yes, but when you say as big as Christmas, Christmas isn't like an event where everybody tunes in and is watching the same thing and doing all the same thing.
I mean, as far as like holidays, days go, Super Bowl Sunday is huge.
Obviously, it's huge. It's the biggest stage, like I said, where there's most eyeballs on a live situation at one given time, of any events on any calendar year. Typically.
Now, 4 years ago,
2019 is when Jay-Z.
2019, so 6 years ago, I guess Roger Goodell was under some hot water for the music choices and not having as much black representation for how much black representation there is in the NFL wasn't really equated in the performers. So, and that being said, Jay-Z was named the ambassador, and I think, along the lines of picking the halftime performers, and this is 2019.
Yes.
And since then, there's been a drastic change in the type of shows and performances that are put on halftime.
Yeah, that first one in 2019, I think, was the LA one with Kendrick and Drake. Not Drake, Dre is what I meant to say. Obviously, Eminem and all those guys. Snoop. I think that was the 2019 Super Bowl.
Oh, Kendrick was there?
Yeah, he performed a little bit in that.
Huh.
And they said, hey, let's just go ahead and bring him back, run it back, and give him the whole shebang this time.
So they're in LA again.
Wait, no.
Where are they?
Well, the NFL decided we're going to have New Orleans host the Super Bowl, and they knew that for a long time.
Not a lot of big rappers come from New Orleans.
And since no big rappers come from New Orleans,
wait a minute.
Jay-Z decided to...
Lil Wayne from...
I guess he is the... He's not interested, though.
No, he doesn't like football.
He doesn't like football.
No, but this is what I wanted to get to. If you know me, me and Lil Wayne.
Yes.
He's been one of my favorite artists, inspirations. I don't know. Lil Wayne's my favorite musical artist, and I'm just a big fan. And as much as I've liked Kendrick's music, I love Kendrick's music, and he's made some of my favorites, which is already, we've covered the whole Kendrick and Drake beef on here, which is already like, I feel like a lot of people pick a side in that. I'm still in the middle. It's kind of, but with Lil Wayne now, this is where it just is hard for me, and not to say that it's Kendrick's fault, but I mean, for Lil Wayne not to be performing in New Orleans and Jay-Z being petty and whatever bullshit that they have going on, like Lil Wayne has nothing to do with any of that, and I just think it's a huge slap in the face. There would be no Kendrick Lamar without Lil Wayne. There'd be not a lot of modern hip-hop artists without Lil Wayne.
Yeah, but I think it's only in the hip-hop world and hip-hop culture that somebody would feel this slight. Like if they go to a town and a band that's famous is from that town and they didn't get to perform, but they brought in another band, nobody would say anything. It's just like who's relevant, who's
fair, because that's also
right
one of their
now.
peers is the one picking the musical guests. Like It's not like Metallica chose for Metallica didn't choose Kiss to play in Detroit, or wherever they're from.
New York.
It's not like Metallica's in charge of halftime show and they're picking other. So this is one of their peers, Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, Kendrick. They've all made songs together, and granted, Jay-Z and Lil Wayne have had their own run-ins.
Jay-Z knows who's moving the needle this year and right now. Kendrick has a song that's got almost 500 million plays in less than a year of being out there, and he's just got his finger on the pulse of the hip-hop culture right now, and so he just is giving him that stage.
Well, Jay-Z is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Known piece of shit. And
Jay-Z, known piece of shit.
So Kendrick, you made a song about how much of a guy is a piece of shit. Fair, whatever you think about that, it has become the biggest hit in hip-hop for this year. Now, it's kind of funny that Jay-Z, known... Did you know this story? One time, somebody found... J. Cole's phone, and they tried to call Jay-Z off of it.
Okay.
Jay-Z ignored the call, so then they called Jay-Z off of unknown number, and right after, and Jay-Z picked up right away. And
he's ignoring J. Cole. Is that the whole
which
point
is his
of that?
artist? That's his artist.
Yeah. Okay.
And
maybe he didn't want to talk to him right then and there.
Oh, but he could talk to some unknown number.
Yeah, maybe. He said money to be made.
and I think who performed in Minnesota when they had the Super Bowl there? It was Prince. Yes.
But I'm just saying.
And Prince is synonymous with his hometown, Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm.
Lil Wayne is synonymous with New Orleans. You could argue that he's more synonymous with New Orleans than Kendrick is to L.A. I think you could definitely say that.
Probably. Now,
how
who's
would
to say that they're not, they haven't probably even started to build the show yet. Who's to say that Kendrick wouldn't work out a way that Wayne comes out for a song or two or some other, all sorts of different New Orleans stuff. But everybody just wanted to pile on right away and be like, I can't believe this. Why can we not have Wayne do it?
Yeah, it's bullshit. You're just, I know, like, you're being a Kendrick apologist.
I'm just saying,
like,
you got to
Lil
think
Wayne,
about who's, like, what's relevant at this moment in time. What's going to draw the most eyes to the halftime. That's what they're trying to do always.
Yeah, Dr. Dre had that huge album come out in 2020, so I'm glad he got the floor in L.A.
Yeah.
Because when I think of 2020, I think of Taylor Swift, Miley Cyrus, and Dr. Dre topping the charts that year. So it made sense that Dre got to be a headliner in L.A. because that is his hometown. Now,
it was the whole L.A. crew. Snoop, Dre, what's his face? Missy Elliott? No. It wasn't
yes, I did leave off a lot of bangers from 2020. Snoop was killing the charts then.
Yeah.
So that just go against your argument. Like,
well, that was what they were doing that year. They were saying, let's,
Kendrick was 2 years removed from Damn when that was out too.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
So for Jay-Z to try to say, he has his finger on the needle. Look, you're not going to catch me sitting up here and not being pissed off for Lil Wayne, known NFL lover, and just very culturally relevant to the city of New Orleans.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you there. I just think that it makes more sense to have Kendrick do it.
So he can sing to billions of people about someone being a pedophile? Like,
yeah, if that's what it takes to get the point across.
What point?
That there's pedophiles that are lurking in the industry that need to be outed.
Well, Eminem's been calling P. Diddy out far longer than Kendrick.
P. Diddy arrested last night by Homeland Security.
And Eminem's been taking shots and P. Diddy for years.
Yeah.
So for Kendrick to act like
he was out there in
Messiah,
2019 doing the Super Bowl.
And Jay-Z acting like he wants to be Mr. Good Guy. Let's look at Jay-Z. You think his rap sheet's clean?
No.
I'm just saying, like, not that Lil Wayne's is, but I mean, it just seems like we're bending the morality and bending the narrative to fit whatever story that they want to paint. Like, Dr. Dre, and again, I have no qualms with Dr. Dre. I like Dr. Dre, but he beat the shit out of his wife, and they've promoted him left and right on commercials and on a grand stage, whether it be the NFL, his beats and all that shit. I mean, I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve to be changed and all that, but if we want to argue for morality and having this agenda, like, then you have to stand with that in all your decisions you make. Like,
yeah. And
that's just...
And I don't think picking Kendrick and not picking Wayne had anything to do with a moral stance. Really. I just, like I said, I think it has to do with just with the relevance at this point in time and what's going to draw the eyeballs, and that's going to draw eyeballs because people are so caught up in this whole, beef and back and forth between Drake and Kendrick. And so people are like, oh, Kendrick's doing the Super Bowl. Oh, man, it's going to be a big deal. So it was just going to draw the most eyeballs, and that's what it's about.
I think it's pettier than that. And to that point, is Lil Wayne...
everybody just wants
Lil
to
Wayne
say
is not
it's
really
pettier than
polarizing. Like, when you say Wayne is pretty... Like, you don't have a lot of people that hate Lil Wayne.
No, not really. Just olds that hate hip-hop in general.
Yes. But with Kendrick, you're going to alienate a lot of Drake fans. Yeah.
They're going to tune in just to see what he's going to say, if he's going to say anything about Drake.
He's going to get up there. Wop, 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 wop. I'm going to fuck him up.
Maybe. I'm sure you'll hear it in there somewhere, but
You're telling me the crowd wouldn't go crazy if you hear, oh, Millie, oh, Millie, oh, Millie, oh, Millie.
And you might, but they're like, everybody's just coming out and trying to draw lines in the sand before anything's even started getting planned, like what the show's going to be.
Well, you're drawing a line in the sand.
Did I?
You seem pretty... For somebody who used to love Lil Wayne, you seem...
I like Lil Wayne.
Happy
He's very talented. I'm just saying that I think whatever Kendrick's going to bring to the table this year is going to be more entertaining than what Wayne could have brought to the table.
It'll be played out. It'll be almost a fucking year since that song came out.
I don't know. It seems like people are just as intrigued and interested in what's going to happen.
If that's your agenda, why don't you have Jared from Subway come out? Everybody can throw tomatoes at him.
That'd be fun.
I mean, it's like, yeah, I get it, but suddenly the face of this anti-pedophilia came from somebody who hasn't even been proven to do it. There's P. Diddy. There's so many people out here who have actually been proven. I mean, like, there's no receipts or anything to show that Drake has done any of this.
I mean, I don't have the receipts. Maybe Kendrick's got some receipts. Maybe he's going to show us some receipts at the Super Bowl. That's the questions. These are the questions that the people are asking that's getting them, more engaged in the Super Bowl halftime. If it was Wayne, people would be like, oh, that's nice. He's from New Orleans. That's great. And then they'd move on. They wouldn't talk about it any further than that.
No, you doing Wayne dirty like he's just some run-of-the-mill artist. Lil Wayne.
He's a legacy artist. He's got a hell of a legacy. But he's not as polarizing as Kendrick is right now. That's just what it is.
Lil Wayne at his peak,
yes,
meant more to hip hop than Kendrick did at his peak. And yes,
we'll see. Longevity will tell. Time will tell.
Longevity. Lil Wayne's been around for 25 years.
Right, I know. And Kendrick's been around for 15. And it's like
again, it's like I'm arguing against an artist that I really respect in Kendrick Lamar, but at the same time, Lil Wayne, when he was at his peak, mixtape after mixtape after mixtape, album after album, Kendrick 4 or 5 years in between.
Yeah, but I don't know.
There wasn't a feature that Lil Wayne wasn't murdering. There wasn't a song that was becoming a hit that Lil Wayne wasn't making a better version of. And like that, come on. And to get no respect, no homage, but fucking Tom Petty and the Heartbreaks, they got their moment. The Police and Sting, they got their moment. Kendrick has already had his moment, and he just won a massive beef at the top of his level. Like, I mean, we're not going to be on the same side of this. I just had to say my piece and my rant because
I mean, that's fine, and I get where people are coming from. It's in New Orleans. Yeah, Wayne should do it. I mean, I'm just saying that time will tell on who made a bigger impact on hip hop longevity wise. They're both huge impacts, but they're different impacts. And what is it going to be? 20 years from now, when you look at both of their careers, are they going to be the same trajectory? Who's going to be the bigger impact? I don't know. There's different styles. They're different styles. And I think that they've both contributed, exorbitant amounts to the genre. And Kendrick took it from a place that Wayne brought it to and grew it even more, is what I'm saying. He grew on top of the stuff that Wayne put out there, but I think he's more rounded of an artist.
Well, yeah, but it was a different time, like in Lil Wayne's heyday, because if you're talking about super conscious rap, like Kendrick's not even the best at that all time.
No, I'm not.
But on a commercial level, yes, he's probably the most successful conscious artist.
I'm not even talking about just conscious. I'm just talking about music creativity. What he does with his voice on songs. Like he's always, his flows, his different voices, his how he approaches songs is always different. He's doing a lot of things in that regard. It's not always punchlines. It's not always just conscious rap. It's not always serious. It's not always funny. Like there's many different levels to how Kendrick approaches songs. And I just think that takes what the base was when Kendrick was coming up, and he raised the bar even higher. That's all. And so if somebody's going to come along past Kendrick and raise it higher again, then the same thing can be said.
But yeah, but there's different art forms, because Kendrick has never hopped on a song that was already famous in its own right, get on the beat and make the other song not even noteworthy anymore.
Yeah.
Like Lil Wayne was doing that time and time and time again, mixtape after mixtape, not just one song, 15, 20 songs at a time, and he was doing it for free.
Yeah.
Free music.
And that's just a product of the different times, At that time, that's how hip-hop was. You had instrumentals that be bounced around from here to there, everywhere. A lot of Kendrick's pieces are instrumentals that he's catering to the song specifically to work in the way that he wants to work for the song. So I guess he just doesn't work in a way where he's going to just take somebody else's beat and use it I don't know. It's just not his style, obviously. I don't know. I'm Team Kendrick. I love Wayne, and I just don't. I don't know. I don't think that they did him dirty as like a slight at all. I think it was just like they chose Kendrick because he's more relevant at this moment in time, and that's all there is to it.
I just think it's way deeper than you think. I think it has a lot to do with his ties to Drake and his past beefs with Jay-Z and all that shit. I think that, and that's what hip-hop is, and all the powers that be. There is a lot more deepness that goes on than who's the bigger artist, because, I mean, who performed last year?
Oh
Yeah.
God, was it a female?
Somebody that wasn't big enough at the time or relevant enough for that pulse that Jay-Z has his finger on for us to even remember right now. And I guarantee...
Gosh, who even... It was 49ers and... Chiefs.
Yeah, we can't even think of it. Usher.
Dude, oh, yeah, sure enough.
Oh, yeah, really,
really relevant.
Usher was at the top of the charts last year. That's what I'm saying. It's like your whole argument is just hypocritical when you think about the past artists that Jay-Z's chose.
Well, you know,
this is definitely beyond that, and
we got some other plans this year.
And I do agree that Kendrick Lamar as a composer and as a whole artist is more sophisticated. I enjoy his albums. Probably more than any other hip-hop artist as full as full albums and a complete art piece. But I just think that, like, it doesn't... You're taking away from a talent that Lil Wayne has that... And his time was better than anybody.
Well, I'm not trying to take anything away from Wayne. He is a revolutionary of, his time. I'm just thinking about when it comes to a live show, who I think would be putting on a better show. I just think Kendrick could be a better show right now.
We'll see. I think even if Kendrick wanted to come out and have Lil Wayne come out to do Mona Lisa, like, I doubt Lil Wayne would even want to do that.
What, he said, nah, dog, it's got to be all or nothing. I can't do a Wayne voice right now.
Wayne wouldn't say that. I just think it's like not like that, but it's just like almost embarrassing, like he's some kind of fucking charity to Kendrick Lamar. Like, it's Lil Wayne. And you're talking about him like he's some AA baseball player. Oh, yeah, he was good in his time. Like, no, it's Lil Wayne. And I just think that it's just kind of, he's being disrespected for what he's meant to music. And you could argue that Lil Wayne is up there all time with musical influences. Like, I mean, Lil Wayne in 2007 was probably bigger than anybody in music.
He was popping off.
2008, I mean, it was a run, dude. Like, just the fact that now it's like we're prisoners of the moment and acting like Lil Wayne some afterthought sideshow.
No, I'm not acting like that. I don't know. No, it's not an afterthought thing. It's just, who'd be more entertaining? Who do you
think the people in New Orleans would rather see?
See, that's just, I mean, I feel like that's a leading question. Of course, we know that they would probably choose to see Wayne, but that's one city of people when there's going to be millions and millions and millions. I'm doing my Trump. Whoa. Millions of other people watching from all over this great country.
Yeah, well, I think that we're kind of both just, and that's okay. We have different stances on it. Audience, comment, and
weigh in.
We'd love to hear.
Let's know who you'd rather have seen perform in this year's Super Bowl, Lil Wayne or Kendrick Lamar, and then we'll see how it plays out. We'll see if there's anything wild that happens that would lead us to be like, now it makes sense why they picked Kendrick Lamar. We'll see.
In all fairness, I would say the same thing if it was the opposite and they chose Lil Wayne to perform in Compton. Like, I'd be like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But that would never happen.
Could. Maybe that's what they're going to do. They're going to wait till it's somewhere else. They'll bring Wayne in next year or something. Who knows?
I feel like it's just awkward at this point. you know, it'd be like, Bob, if you didn't get invited to somewhere and then everybody made a big stink about it, you weren't really the one raising the stink, but it became a big topic of conversation, and they're like, you know, Bob, like, you should come. You wouldn't go.
Probably not. Or I'd go and I'd just be the coolest person there. So, you know, if they invite Wayne to come out and do a thing, you go out and you're the best person on stage and you kill it. And everybody's like, dang, they're really, you know, they're like embarrassed that they didn't invite him. You know, that's the other option of what he could do.
I just wish Lil Wayne had more hits that he could play to a crowd.
Yeah.
Nobody remembers Lollipop. Nobody remembers A Millie. Nobody remembers Fireman. Nobody remembers Go DJ. And that's a fraction.
That's because they weren't around for TikTok. They weren't TikTok
But
famous.
I think people still know those songs. He beat TikTok.
He beat TikTok. What does that mean?
he was viral at a time where it wasn't so easy to go viral. You couldn't just have AI and but not saying Kendrick's that by any means, no. But I'm just saying that in a time where there's a lot of artists, I feel like that don't have a lot of talent that are being made viral because they go in with a song specifically to get viral. It's a lot of watered down again, not Kendrick. I love Kendrick's music, and this is not me in an anti-Kendrick state.
Nick's anti-Kendrick.
Good Kid, Mad City is and will be probably my favorite album of all time for just every song on it, plus like at a time in my life where that album came out, I don't remember listening to an album front to back so many times consecutively.
Yeah. It's a classic. It is a classic.
And arguably not even his greatest album, but it's my favorite. And that's okay. That's Kendrick and Wayne talk. Superbowl.
Wayne's been slighted. Nick's here to let everybody know it's fucked up. And that's all right. We're, you know, I'm going to let you do that. And
that's
I'm
my guy, dude.
I know that. Nick and Wayne. Speaking of
you do the same for me.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What about we have little Dave Grohl head
Dave Grohl
having a baby outside of his marriage? Surprised? Not surprised? Reactions? Everybody always thought of Dave Grohl as the good guy of rock and roll, right?
It doesn't mean that he's not a good guy.
Yes. I agree.
Damn, if he was in hip hop, somebody else would have came out and said it for him before he could.
Probably.
But Dave Grohl's credit, not that it wasn't fucked up, but he did. Like, he didn't have to announce this to the world. He came out and he kind of got in front of.
Yeah.
It didn't. It wasn't like TMZ leaked it or his Dave Grohl himself.
I'm doing this and this is what I'm doing because of that.
It sucks. It does suck because you do want to have, like, you know, there's very few people.
There goes my hero.
I know the irony. Had
to.
He's fighting more than food these days.
I think that, like you said, it doesn't make him a bad guy. He still is probably one of the nicest guys in rock and roll. And just because something like that happens, you know, doesn't mean that you are a piece of shit automatically. Like, we don't know the inner workings of his marriage and his relationship with his wife, like what's going on there.
He does seem to know that he fucked up. Like,
yeah. You know,
like, I'm not blaming his wife.
I'm not either. But I'm just saying people like to just make automatic assumptions in all situations. But also, it almost like lifts like a pressure off of Dave Grohl's shoulders of like having to be that nice guy all the time, if you will.
I think that's just who he is, though.
I think you're right. I think he is just naturally a nice guy. But like this outside perceived thing of like, oh, Dave Grohl, just the best guy in music. Like, you know, everybody just holds him up, almost canonizes him, you know, as like this otherworldly nice person. And he is a nice person, like I said. But, right, like when everybody's just looking to you to like, oh, this person's the epitome of niceness all the time. It's a lot. It's pressure, like, right?
Yeah, well, I think as a society, we like to make such drastic changes, and we want to make such black and white statements on, oh, Dave Grohl, great guy. Oh, man, it sucks that Dave Grohl's a piece of shit. Or we do that with all these people where, I mean, the two things can just not the best husband. And obviously, he would tell you that. Mm-hmm. But not being a great husband doesn't mean that now all of a sudden you're a piece of shit. Like, because every single person has flaws, and that but we like to just wait and build somebody up in America or really in the world, and then we find a flaw of theirs, and because we built them up, we held them to this pedestal that was unrealistic. When there's a chink in the armor, we tear them down.
Yeah, it definitely is one of the favorite pastimes of humans here. Building somebody up just to watch them be torn down and tear them down, you know.
So yeah, kind of to your point though, like maybe there's a weight off Dave Grohl's back, and like, he still is and always has been himself.
Yeah.
But the image of like, oh, Dave Grohl hasn't been publicly messed up at all, so everybody holds him. But yeah, there's gonna be pieces of people like, oh my gosh, Dave, why you like? That's just dramatic. And
I thought you were such a good person, Dave.
It's just, you know, and they did the same thing to Tiger. And I'm not saying Tiger's a great guy. He's definitely not Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
But people put Tiger in this like special being, you know, as Tiger Woods, like he's pristine. Well, Tiger didn't say he was pristine, and Tiger never said he was an amazing human being. The public did, because he was great at golf.
Right.
And nobody ever seen a golfer like Tiger. So they started putting all these other attributes on him, like he's a godlike person. And then it all, you know, the house of cards was
come crumbling down.
So yeah, I think this is just, and it will never change. So I can't say, oh, this is important to maybe remember, because it won't. It's always been like this.
Yeah, things happen.
People have such drastic takes, and you know,
True.
it's weird, and especially more so now than ever. Everybody has takes on social media and shit.
Takes on social media.
Hey, can you imagine if Taylor Swift did something?
People would probably find a reason why she wasn't in the wrong, right?
And I don't think anything Taylor's done has made me think, wow, Taylor's such a great person. But this is like this.
But she gave $100,000 to her truck drivers.
Okay.
No, I'm just
but it's like, I'm not
here.
saying Taylor's bad. I'm not. This is not a stance with Taylor, but my point is that Taylor seems to be the person right now that a large demographic of people
Sucking
have
up the
deemed
moral.
this like godlike. Like Taylor is not. I mean, she fucking endorses Kamala, and a bunch of people register to vote. Like, why? You're not voting for the right reasons if Taylor Swift telling you who to vote. Like, it's so crazy that so many people are just so brainwashed to not think for themselves. And this isn't me saying if Taylor Swift came out and said vote Donald Trump and a bunch of people did that, it's just fucking crazy. Like,
I mean, that's the whole political landscape we live in right now. Is
stupid.
That people need somebody to tell them who to vote for, and then they agree with it. Like,
That's a
what do you
problem.
mean? That's how it's been for a lot of years.
That is a problem.
Yep, sure is. Nothing. No easy solution to that one. People don't like thinking for themselves.
I've always admired Kobe, Lil Wayne, but I don't own a single thing of Truck Fit. There's never a time where, and this is a person I held in really high esteem, but
it's possible to be a huge fan of somebody, right, and also not hold them up to like a deity level.
So I can't understand this, but it seems to be such a thing, and it always has been.
Yeah, people like to be guided. You know, they want to be told what they should be doing and thinking, and they hold up these people that they appreciate their works of art as their compass for whatever reason. It's a bizarre state of affairs, but you see it on all corners of markets. You know, you see it in politics, you see it in entertainment, you see it in business. You see people holding up business people that are like very terrible business people. I mean, terrible morally business people, but they're really good at making money. Let's just listen to what that guy's got to say. Thanks, Dave Ramsey. You know,
it's always been Dave Ramsey. No, and it's just like going back to the Dave Grohl thing. I guess this is a unique situation, which, to Dave's credit, it came out on his own accord. Like,
yep. It's just like, Dave, you're 55 years old. If you're gonna go out there and be fucking on a fan, that's fine. But to end up having a baby out of that, like, you got to be a little bit smarter than that, Dave. Right? You know what I mean?
He's human.
I get it. He's human, but like, you know, a little protection, a little condom action, a little pull-out game week. I don't know. Like, what's going on here? To end up having a baby, like, you either is it going on multiple occurrences, or you were just very careless? Which is it, and which is worse? Like, would you rather it be like a mistress situation where it's like a constant person he was hooking up with and then got pregnant, or it was a one-off and he was just so careless to not use any protection that they got pregnant?
I don't think it concerns me. Like,
hey, these are the things that I think about.
well, I mean,
like how I think he's dumb in that aspect. You know, not
it could have
like
been
cheating
drunk after a show in a real passionate time. He let his guard down, wasn't thinking clearly. Maybe he was under the influence and didn't have his best judgment. And you know, maybe it was somebody who he met on the road and fell in love with, and then, you know, was caught in a moral conundrum, didn't know, like,
little mistress.
Maybe part of it, maybe the subconscious part, fell in love with this other woman, and he gave her a baby, and then thought, like, what have I done? You know,
What am I doing?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Naturally, it was just
Not that I know what you're saying. Yeah, it's interesting, but
clearly you don't think it's interesting.
I mean, I've been talking like, yeah,
I'm messing around.
You know, it is. I guess it makes me more mad. Going back to stuff that you've talked about all the time, is that, like, people just don't, like, they're such, and I'm saying like, I'm not a human as well. Like, I have my flaws, but I just never can relate to somebody just holding these people up and, like, just doing anything. Like, these are human beings. They're flawed human beings.
Yeah.
And
that's definitely the biggest thing about any form of celebrityism, right? Is like people forget that they're just people, right? That celebrities and famous people are literally just the same chemical makeups that we are. You know, they're gonna make mistakes and they're gonna do things messed up just like regular humans. And if it doesn't seem like they are, then that's just the world that we're being fed. You're not seeing the full picture, you know, typically.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there's a difference between being a fan and, like, being able to think for yourself. Like, you know, there's a time, even when Kobe was alive, when I was in high school, I wanted to get a Kobe tattoo on me.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't signify that I think everything Kobe says and does is, you know, it'd just be just because I really admire him and what he did.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm trying to say, like, I'm not saying not to be a big fan of people, but think
just
for yourself still.
Yeah, be able to see between the lines and know that just because you're a big fan of somebody doesn't mean that they're not allowed to mess up. Like, they can still mess up even if you're a fan of somebody, and it's okay for people to mess up. Everybody messes up. It's like, did you harm other people along the way of you messing up, and how bad did you harm those people? That's like, you know, the barometer to it all.
Yeah, like, for instance, you know, because, like, it seems, because, you know, talking about Taylor again, if she does something that's obviously bad, there's a lot of people that'll come out and try to spin it to, like,
spin zone.
But, I mean, even, like, look at, you know, our friend Brant. Huge Conor McGregor fan, obviously, but there's been times where I've seen Conor do something and Brant's like, "Come on, Conor! Like, what are you doing? You know,
what are you
like?"
doing?
He's able to separate it, and, like, he's not like, oh, you know, like, he doesn't spin everything into Conor's.
That's like probably the exception. I think most people that are large fans of a person end up in the spin zone trying to, you know, rationalize why somebody did what they did for a while. You know, eventually, if things keep happening, you know, people will end up being like, all right, well, I can't, you know, spin that or whatever. Being like Kanye, right? Like, people can't spin the Kanye thing much more these days, as much as they want to.
Yeah, next topic.
Okay.
Yeah, Kanye, that's in a whole, well, I guess not next topic, because I'll touch on it real quick. Kanye was in a situation where there's a lot of times I think he was being misrepresented and misunderstood. I don't know if he slowly kind of became this person that people were creating. I think, you know, he got addicted to nitrous oxide, and Kanye was a person who, for a lot of times, I was sticking up because I truly believed that he was misunderstood and also had a lot of mental health issues. I think he got chewed up and spit out by the Kardashian Jenner clan, which I think did cause a lot of this, in my personal opinion. But it's gotten to the point where, for whatever reasons, Kanye's a little off his rocker, to the point where I mean, I don't stand with Kanye and having his and wife walk around with just butt ass naked in public and stuff, and just like that stuff's just
some interesting choices going on around that man right now.
it's strange, man. It's strange. It's sad.
Yeah, you got like I said, chewed up and spit out by the old Hollywood crowd.
Yeah. There's a lot of reasons, and I guess you could say that with anybody. There's a lot of reasons things happen in people's lives to get them to the point that they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, interesting. This kind of been like a little bit of our first episode feel, kind of, but in a good way. Like, I like some deep sociological.
Yeah, trying to break it down, figure out where everybody's psyche is. So, I mean, also, in the lines of psyches, I had noticed it is now September 17th, as we talked about at the beginning of the episode. Last episode was at the very end of August. And after we recorded our last episode, the day after, I found myself at the grocery store, and I find a large display with all Halloween candy was out. It wasn't even September yet, and we're selling bags and bags and bags of Halloween candy. What the fuck are we doing? We're 2 months out. We're talking about buying Halloween candy? Nobody's buying Halloween candy right now to give out on Halloween. They're buying that shit to eat it at home.
Yeah.
This is horseshit.
Well,
I'm a Halloween fan, but we don't need to sell large bags of candy with Halloween stuff on it 2 months in advance. You know what you're doing. You're marketing to the fats. I don't know. I just these like, you know, holidays, they always, most of them, you know, were you know, corporate holidays, if you will, from the start to a point, like, but they've just become such commodified, like, you know, and so much money is generated around these holidays and events, and it just is it's lost its luster, a lot of this stuff for me.
Yeah, and Halloween wasn't even one of those corporate holidays. It was it started off as a Christian holiday, Hallows Eve,
Yeah, a little pagan,
to celebrate the dead, and it has been so commercialized. I
just
do
like
love
all
Halloween.
the other. I mean, I like it too, but I don't want. I don't know, just something about pushing it 2 months in advance just because they know that it's going to sell, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, I love Halloween! Yeah, I'll buy Halloween candy."
Yeah, and the day after Halloween, you'll see Thanksgiving stuff until then, and then right after Thanksgiving will be Christmas.
You won't see much Thanksgiving stuff at all. You'll see Christmas stuff go up the day after Halloween, and Halloween stuff will be on sale for a week. There's no Thanksgiving stuff.
Now, I do see what you're saying. It's funny because, you know, I live with my brother, huge Halloween fan.
This is Halloween.
He hung up decorations the day before September, and I gave him shit. I don't mind it. Like, I like it. You know, it's what he likes. We had his Halloween decorations have been up since I think the last day of August or so, and you know,
still that's a little different than like if you want to put it up at home and get yourself in the mood. That's great and grand and fun. It's annoying to me when I just see businesses like pushing to make all those dollars months in advance just because they know that people are going to buy it. I don't know. It's a me issue. You know, like businesses are like, this is great. People are going to buy it. You know, we're going to sell it to them. And they do. Right. So it's like, it's just a personal feeling on my part. I don't know. I don't like being targeted. I'm not a mark. Okay. I don't want to be a mark. I mean, I'm not buying Halloween stuff, so I guess I'm not a mark. But still, it just feels like aggressive. That's all.
Well, yeah. There's some. You need to dress up for Halloween this year?
Yeah, probably. We go back and forth on where we have Halloween night, the day of Halloween night, at whether it's at our house or Jamie's sister's house. You know, Adrian will get together with his cousins and they'll do the trick or treating in one of the neighborhoods. So this is at our house this year. So we'll probably dress up as something. Man. We were talking about doing like a little walkthrough. You know, almost like a fun house, but like a little scare house thing where we put up some you know, like fake walls and have them walk through real short, just like in our carport to get the candy kind of thing.
You gotta go to Holly Hills, man. It's a pretty cool show. They have food. Dude, Holly Hills is awesome. I know it's quite a drive for you guys, but
we're not going to divert from our back and forth plans, being our house, her sister's house. Those are Halloween plans.
All right.
Yeah. Glad we got that settled.
I'm just saying that maybe one year.
No.
All right. Close-minded Bob, Rob, whatever you guys know him by.
Boomer, Billy, Bert, Oboe. There's a lot of
Your
variations.
stance changed, though. Like, you're all for Jay-Z making his most money on capitalizing on what's current now, but you're against,
I didn't say Jay-Z
grocery
was doing
stores
that.
it.
I'm saying that the NFL wants that.
Well, same premise, though. They're just, it's all
They
capitalism.
give him the power to pick who it is, but it's like, what are you going to do to get the most eyes on the Super Bowl as you can? And they probably saw last year that Usher didn't have a lot of eyes on it. They're like, that's not great. We need something that's a little bit more eyeball pushing.
Well,
and so they went
Usher
with
had a
Kendrick.
good show last year, but we can't
he
get
had
back
a
in.
good show, but how many people actually watched it and cared? I don't think there was that many people. I think a lot of people tuned out for the halftime, and they said, "Oh, that's great. It was Usher, big deal." But I think a lot more people will be watching because of current beef and what's happening in the hip hop world between Kendrick and Drake. It just, I don't know. It just seems like that's going to draw more eyeballs. So that's all. We don't have to keep going back down that route.
I wanted to say something, but we could just talk. We could have done a 2-hour episode on this, really.
Well, we still can.
Because, I mean, who's to say that you don't think if Lil Wayne would have brought Drake out there, that a bunch of people would be like, oh, like, we haven't heard from Drake since all this has happened.
Right.
Now, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
You could have tied both that in together.
Yeah, you're right. You could have. But if you would have just announced as Lil Wayne doing it and not having Drake on there or whatever, then people, they'd have been excited for it, but it still wouldn't have drawn eyeballs and the chatter and all the talk. How many people are talking about Super Bowl halftime? We're doing it right now because of who was chosen, right? Like in all these other shows and podcasts.
I think we're talking about it because who was not chosen.
Yeah, but if Wayne was chosen, I think there'd be less people talking about it.
But it's only being talked about because Wayne was not chosen.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. But yeah, maybe that was a conscious effort.
Huh. You're giving Jay-Z a lot of credit.
Meta plays.
Yeah, he's so meta.
He's so
I'm gonna fucking be like Hove when I grow up.
So yeah,
we want quite a few
Halloween
rants,
candy.
man. Halloween's around the corner.
Halloween is right.
What do
around
you
the corner.
think? Speaking of Halloween, so I've heard, I think this topic discussed on maybe TMA or something, but I, for one, I liked Halloween as a kid. I enjoy it more as an adult, getting to see all the kids having fun and sitting outside. It's usually a chilly night, eating chili. My mom's always made chili.
We do the chili.
It's I enjoy that. I enjoy this is gonna be fun. Sitting outside, seeing all these kids dressed up, and they're freaking super pumped up, and that's so fun to me, man.
the communal aspect of Halloween. I like that. Getting together and hanging out with everybody. Everybody gets outside and goes house to house, sees their neighbors. That's fun. I'm all for that.
So fun.
I'm all for it. I think it's a great holiday in that regard. It's just the big money coming in to make more money on it is where I just start to get a little drained about holidays. I'm like, stop.
Really, with Christmas, I think that's become, Christmas is so anxiety provoking because if
it can be,
you gotta be there's this pressure to get all these gifts, and it's gosh, money's tight this year.
Yeah, we shut that down last year. We pulled ourselves out of every Secret Santa drawing from the different family groups that people were trying to get us in. We're like, we're not doing Secret Santas this year. Don't include us. We're not doing that.
I mean, holidays should just be centric around time spent with family, having good meals, and just the camaraderie.
Yeah.
But I feel I will agree with you in the fact that corporate America gets their claws into everything and just makes it here's another thing to spend money on.
Yes.
Yeah. More money.
I said, how can we become more rich?
Gosh.
Speaking of professions and stuff, I had this thought.
What a transition.
Well, we're talking about, jobs and that kind of stuff. There was a story about a landscaper coming across a dead body, laying in some overgrown grass or something like that. So then I had the thought of what profession do you think is most likely stumbles across dead bodies, let's just say, most commonly? What profession do you think
Police officer
stumbles across a dead body? Happens to find one in a random place.
Park ranger.
Park ranger's not a bad call. I was thinking landlords.
Yeah.
You know, you don't hear from a tenant for a while. You go, you check on your apartment, boom, dead body.
Maybe, but there could be family a lot of time will do a wellness check and then the police come in. But I see the landlord could be, but
Or
I feel like something would be like the landlord would be like, why am I not getting rent? Try to contact, and they might contact family, like who this person.
The other one I think is like construction workers. How often do you hear, all of these construction workers were working here and they dug up human remains?
Yeah.
Like, seems like construction workers might come across dead bodies more often than other people at their jobs.
I can see that. My mind went to park rangers because I feel like there's a lot of maybe either people killed and taken to the parks or just people that kill themselves, like hanging in a tree in a park. Or maybe not as much in America, but, they have that whole suicide forest in Japan.
Yes.
But yeah, that's the... I don't know. I haven't put a lot of thought into this.
That's what we're doing right now. We're putting thought into it. Landscapers coming across dead bodies and tall grass, I guess.
Yeah, probably more so dead animals, huh?
I've come across a few dead animals doing some landscape work. Yep. A little dead rabbit hanging out in the bushes.
Smell, flies.
Yeah, you know right away if you got a dead something by smelling it. It's not a good smell.
Jerry O'Connell, Stand By Me. Want to see a dead body?
Gross.
You think, what, kids stumbling across a dead body, pretty traumatic?
Yeah, could be if they've not seen one before.
I'm trying to think, though. I mean,
Other-
professions.
Other jobs where you might just come across dead bodies.
I mean, that's a lot. Somebody who has a job like in the ocean, maybe a dead body's floated up or some kind of body of water, they might come across a lot of dead bodies.
Little sea captain, Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, or some kind of water patrolman.
Yeah.
I could see
A
that.
seaman.
Seaman, seeing dead men.
Seaman seeing dead men.
Yeah, so I don't know.
A hotel worker, you think?
Yeah, like
a
hotel.
Let's say a maid.
Yeah,
Like a maid.
Yes,
like a
great
room
call. That might be number
cleaner.
one.
Could be.
Because they'll knock, you don't answer, they'll come in.
Housekeeping?
Yes.
They come
I
in
would say that. Good call.
That's-
That might be number one.
the housekeeping says housekeeping sees dead people.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that might be number one.
It's got to be up there.
Stumbling across.
Yeah.
Because there's also reasons, like with the landlord, there's probably a lot of things that might happen before they just go
Come in,
barking
yeah,
to check
sure.
on you. There's probably family, lots of things that happen. But a housemaid at a hotel, or a housemaid, a maid at a hotel,
Yeah.
knock on the door, nobody says anything, open it up. Oh, Jimmy overdosed. Jimmy had a heart attack.
Cut his wrists in the bathtub or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that would be a
I'm going to say
what a
number
shit
one.
job. What a terrible
I bet you could Google.
job housekeeping would be at a hotel. Like, you
Maddie
just all-
did it back in the day. She was the jury in Bloomington.
Man, that would be a tough job. You just don't get paid very well at all. And then you have to just go in these rooms that people tear apart in a matter of 24 hours sometimes, throw towels everywhere, just people being dirty as they can in some of these hotel rooms.
Oh, yeah. So many comedians talk about, like, the first thing they do is just, like, fucking touch themselves in a hotel room because it's not yours.
Yeah, what?
Dude, there's a comedian that's done a bit. Like, first thing he does is masturbate and just, like...
Just has to?
On, like, I mean,
Like,
it's a fucking...
yeah,
it's
I'm in
probably
my
a bit.
hotel room. Time
But
to
it's a point to what you're
spank
saying.
it.
It's like, you're not cleaning it up. You're
Yeah,
spending 2-3 nights there, sometimes only one.
Yeah.
And, I mean...
No,
There's a reason for people to be assholes, and people love taking advantage of anything that
I
gives them a
agree.
reason to be an asshole.
I agree. They said, I don't got to do any of this cleanup work. So my sympathies go out to housekeepers at hotels, maids, and all that, room service. Rough stuff.
Give them all raises.
Give them a raise. Give
CEO
them a
can
raise.
cut a little bit off the top of his check, right? I'm sure people love to do that.
Yeah, that's what they usually do, isn't it? They don't raise prices or anything.
Multi-millionaires usually give 90% of their wages back so everybody else can get by.
That's what I figured happened.
Yeah.
Most rich people very much enjoy taking care of
What
poor
now?
people.
Now that we're on the topic too, there was just a guide that came out on Reddit that I stumbled across, which was really interesting.
A guide?
And it was cool guides, and it was
yeah.
you familiar?
Yeah.
And it was the largest disparity amongst CEOs of company and the average salaried employee at that company.
Right.
Like the furthest ones and then the ones that were closest, which I thought was, man, if you can take a topic away here while I try to uncover this. Jordan Walker just homered.
Hey, Jordan Walker head.
That's good to see.
Big fan. I do want success for Jordan Walker, and hopefully success for Jordan Walker means success for the Cardinals. It should translate. We were talking about candy.
Jobs and what?
Well, that too, jobs and stuff. But I was thinking about like caffeine has become such a regularized vice for people. I was thinking about how common energy drinks are, and there's kids that are 20, 25 years old that don't know a world where energy drinks just aren't so regularly pushed and accepted as normal. And I'm addicted to caffeine just as bad as anybody else out
too,
there.
Brother. So you're on the Celsius gang now.
Yeah.
I've been on that kick for Sean Spivey got me hooked about a year ago. Go ahead.
So it's just interesting, right, that it's like such a big vice that nobody talks about. We talk about nicotine and we talk about all these other ones that are so bad, but caffeine is just not looked at as a bad vice, and I think that's interesting. That's all. It's not getting looked at as much as other things as being bad.
Yeah, I remember we kind of came up. We were kids, kind of through the. I know Red Bull was becoming popular before we were, here. But
yeah.
But I remember
it was like Monster energy drinks,
like 4th and 5th grade. Monster came out, and then Mountain Dew Amp was really popular. There was an energy drink NOS that's still around. I don't think Amp still is, but
no, Amp is. It's still there.
So I found this list, and I'm trying to understand the ratios that they're talking here. Okay. So, any guesses on what the number one? The CEO makes 2,100 times more than the average
worker for their company.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one company.
It is a retail. It's kind of surprising. You've heard of it, but
yeah.
I'll give you the numbers here. It looks like. So I'm kind of here. You can actually. Oh, I want to show you it, but
don't show me because I want to try to. I'm trying to guess here.
I'll tell you the numbers. The average employee makes here $8,618 a year.
Interesting.
The CEO makes $18,094,940.
Is it Goodwill?
Close.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. It's a little along those lines. Not exactly, but it's close.
Similar.
It's not a
secondhand store.
No, it's not Plato's Closet or Goodwill, but it's like
a TJ Maxx or a Marshalls.
Closer. Pretty good.
Macy's.
No, that'd be.
It's further away, probably.
Yeah.
Oh God.
You want initials?
Yes.
R.
Rallies.
RDFL.
Oh gosh, RD.
Mainly R.
DFL. Just tell me.
Ross.
Oh, Dress for Less. Who knew?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So Ross CEO last year made $18,094,944. Their average employee made $8,618.
They got a shit ton of part-time workers.
Number 2, it's $17.99 to 1, $1,799 to 1. It is a beverage company. Any guesses?
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola is correct.
Yeah.
Their CEO made $24,742,908. Their average employee made $13,752. That's crazy.
So Coca-Cola makes the majority of their money just selling the syrup to bottling manufacturing companies and distributors. They don't even make most of their money from the selling of the actual soda in stores. Like once we get the soda in store, Coca-Cola has already been paid twice over, for that soda.
I did not know that. That's interesting. The number 3 is interesting because the disparity. The average employee made $54,400 a year, but the CEO made $89 million last year, and that's for charter.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So, I mean, I guess they pay well, but their CEO
Yeah,
is...
they pay fine. Well,
Now-
dude, all those communication companies rake in money hand over fist. You know, cable companies and internet companies.
Now, number 1 last year was 1-to-1. The
The CEO was making the same as the employees?
the
1-to-1?
CEO of Airbnb
Oh.
made $295,000, but the average employee made $243,000. I haven't heard of number 2, T2.
That's average. What houses are raking in $1 million a year in Airbnb fees? If that's, it's not that I don't believe it. I'm just trying to do the numbers in my head.
One that you're familiar with, Expedia. Their average employee makes $105,000. Their CEO makes $1 million.
Yeah, but they probably have a really small workforce.
Yeah. I haven't really heard of a lot of these websites on the bottom.
Are they closer to like CEO pay to worker pay?
Yeah. These are all like the top 20 companies with the lowest CEO to worker pay ratios.
Yeah, and like you said, most of them sound like their websites, and websites have like a staff of 10 people.
Yeah, like the top's a lot more like well known. Like I said, Ross, Coca-Cola, Charter.
Yeah.
You see Chipotle in here, McDonald's, Yum, Starbucks, Walmart, Nike, Ulta Beauty. I mean, a lot of those are very familiar names.
Oh yeah.
I just thought that was a very interesting list to look at. And
Yeah, and along those same lines, I saw a post saying, you know, they'd like to see a show where they take a CEO and have them work their lowest wage position of their company for 2 weeks, and they only have access to the money that they make in those 2 weeks and not their other resources, and see if they make it.
so kind of like a undercover boss, but a reverse.
Yeah.
It's
reverse in the sense of they're putting the boss there to work, and they have to live off of it for 2 weeks.
Fuck it, 2 weeks. 2 months.
Yeah, 2 months would definitely give them more of a real feeling of what it would be
and
like.
You start in that time, they have to live in a place that their
they can
employee can afford.
under that. Yeah. All that. They have to live off the money that they're making. But what CEO would agree to do that? That's the thing. Getting somebody that would agree to
get
do
somebody. What you'd have to do is you don't ask them, approach them. You get somebody. You ask questions, right? Like you're not trying to get them to agree to the show. You set it up like it's a interview, and you're asking questions like, "Do you think your employees, on average, are making enough money to get by?" They're going to say, "Yes, of course." Mm-hmm. Okay, and you think everything's fair compared to what you make to them? Yeah. So you'd have no problem with living like them for 2 months. You know, kind of back them into a corner where.
Right.
You know, you're not tricking them. You're just asking questions, and then you're like, so you would agree to this? I mean, sure, so many people push back, but maybe you'd have a better chance doing something like that than...
Yeah. It'd be interesting. But then also, let's do this flip side. We'll take their lowest paid employee and put them as the CEO for 2 weeks and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, a lot...
That'd be fun, too.
Well, it depends. Lowest paid, but maybe there are some...
Sell it all!
But that'd be a little unfair because there's so many things that they wouldn't have privy to or know, you know. But like the argument here would be how much labor these people go into and like for what.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of different. Like it's not because they're doing a job that's so hard and complicated. Like, you know, there's not a lot of nuances into doing some of these. It's just hard labor.
Yeah.
And time.
I mean, that's the biggest thing is it's just labor and time. And that's always going to be the battle. It's like, you know, they want to pay the least amount for something to be done, and people deserve to be paid more to have that stuff done because, you know, you're sucking their entire lives away by having them, you know, spend all their good hours of their days working for your place and then being too tired to do the things they need or want to do when they get off.
It's truly tragic, dude. It's sad.
This is the world we live in. Oh,
Gosh,
but in that
dang
same, maybe we could get lucky, and aliens would just come visit us and just go ahead and wipe us out.
And it's not capitalism that's the problem, though. It's greed, it's selfish, which kind of
and every system, governmental system, socialism, communism, capitalism. All of them open themselves up to greed. If somebody gets in a position of power and they're a selfish person, which is always the case.
Humans are the problem, not the policies.
Yeah, they always start off with good intentions. Policies are built around good intentions, but all it takes is one person without good intentions to
I don't know if they all do.
Well, yeah, every nation that's been built has been built on good intentions, and somebody wanted to, have good intentions, but it just takes one person with greed to throw a wrench in the whole plan.
Do you think, like, Genghis Khan had pure intentions?
Yeah, for his people.
I think he was his people.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He wanted the best for his people. And at those times, it's like, it was regularly thought of if somebody was different than you, then they were different than you, and it didn't matter what you did to them.
Interesting thing about Genghis Khan, obviously he murdered more people than I think anybody in the history of the world.
Also birthed more people.
Yes. But at the same time, and interesting, and I'm not saying Genghis Khan good guy, but he was
Genghis Khan apologizer.
He was a little ahead of his time as far as
revolutionary.
It's interesting because he was this murder, rape, pillager, yes. But what is interesting is he also was kind of early into people had open of religion. He wasn't like a dictator in that like regard, and which wasn't really common then, for a leader to be like, yeah, just do what you do. Just, I am your leader. But like beyond that, he didn't really try to control people's beliefs and stuff.
Right.
Which is, 101 for a lot of dictators.
Yeah. Yeah. Leaving it open for people to.
I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. Kind of jumping back to aliens invading. I think I had asked you this question a few weeks ago, but I wanted to bring it up on this pod. So say we get a news alert, it's like news 2, breaking news, aliens are invading. Like it's Independence Day style, there's big alien spaceships coming across all major
They're invading
cities.
or attacking?
They're just showing up. Let's just say this is all we know. We just say we see them on the horizon. They're sending ships to all these major cities. They're just showing up. We don't know what they're here for yet. We just know that they're inbound and they're all going to be across the entire globe within 24 hours. What are you doing? What's your first move?
I mean, I guess I just hope that they're here to rid of the problems and the problematic people. I'm hoping this is an advanced intelligent species, which I would assume is to have the technology to get where they are.
Get here.
And they see all these corporate, greedy ass motherfuckers in the world, and they're here to rid them. Because if they're here to just wipe all of us out because they need a settlement and it's set up a new civilization, I mean, there's not much I'm going to do. I mean, what can you do?
I'm not asking if you're getting ready to go, strap yourself up like Rambo and fight these guys. No, I just want to know what would your first reaction and action be if you get breaking news, aliens are coming to the planet. We see them entering our atmosphere. We don't know why they're here.
I think you get together with loved ones.
Yeah.
I mean, my first thought, you want to be with your loved ones. Because you don't know.
Right.
You're not going to fight if that is what's coming.
Right.
I mean, it'd be stupid too, right?
Yeah, like, like you said, they have the technology that got them here, so they clearly are coming to us with some more advanced things than we have.
Yeah, I'll get with loved ones and just hope and pray that.
So you just get together with them and you just bunker down where you're at? Is that it?
Bunker, man. I mean, probably wouldn't be. It's so hard because I feel like if they.
That's why it's an interesting question.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
I feel like
is it doomsday? Would my mind go to that? Oh, this is the end.
It probably would go to that,
yeah.
But we don't know. That's what I'm saying. Is
we
don't
wouldn't know. I'd certainly be.
Eventually, we would know
I'd
why they're
be
there.
Concerned,
And so you'd get together with your people.
I don't know if I'd be scared. I'd be concerned. I'd be nervous, anxious, but I don't know if I'd be scared.
I don't know what I feel like. I agree. I'd try to make contact with all my people and see what they're doing, but I think that like mass looting and rioting would start to go on. Like, don't think people trying to
just the
gather
house.
up all the last little bit of supplies and everything that they could before whatever happens.
That's just as stupid, because if the aliens aren't just gonna, it's not just come here and you're either like, they're either not there to concern you, or they're just gonna wipe everything out. Like, there's not gonna be supplies to last. Like,
you think it's just one or the other?
Yeah, yes.
You don't think that, and even if they are here to just wipe us out, that they don't just send out some little smart robots to like hunt down and kill humans? Like, maybe you go find a cave somewhere and hunker down.
I just think if there's
some sort of dystopian end of world scenario where you're like the last humans.
I don't think if there's life is intelligent enough and is advanced to get the technology here, that they'd be as barbaric as maybe Hollywood has portrayed.
Sure.
Because I think that's more of a human thing to have this barbaric instincts of murder and all this stuff. Like,
they're coming for our resources.
I think I probably wouldn't be thinking so clearly and maybe logical. And then when it's happening, you'd have your fears from every. But I just think now that I'm sitting down and thinking about it, if there's an alien life that had the technology and they were so advanced in a civilization that could come to a different planet, maybe from even a different galaxy. I highly doubt that they're just so barbaric to come slaughter. Like, the only scenario that'd be is if whatever planet they were on,
maybe
had some kind of situation where they need Earth, and then they
come here and it's like they are, it's a little peaceful mission at first, and some country across the globe decides that they don't want to hear what they got to say, and they fire a nuke at some of these aliens.
That would probably happen. We're stupid.
And then we incite them, and then the aliens kill us all because they're like, well, we were just trying to have a conversation, but now these violent humans are ruining it for us.
I think they would have observed already how fucking stupid we are.
So they're just showing up
I don't think
for diplomatic purposes?
I truly don't think, because you don't get that advances as a civilization if you haven't figured out the whole ego thing.
Yeah.
I think human egos has ruined this brilliant consciousness that we have. It's
also pushed it. It's also pushed it, right? Like egos and self-belief. Like, that's driven people to do things that humans haven't done in the past in human history.
Dude, this is going to be very cynical, but in all the technology and advancements we have, I don't think any of them have been for the greater good in mind.
Like, harnessing fire wasn't for the greater good? That's what you're going to say?
Back then, I'm talking about now. As technology advances and stuff, it's became so money-centric. It's a whole made-up thing. Money is a made-up concept.
Yes.
It's a construct that was man-made.
Yeah, and agreed upon for the exchange of goods in an easy
but it's meaningless.
way. It is meaningless, but it makes things simpler as far as, like, if you're making goods and you're exchanging goods for something else, some other goods that somebody else has made, what's the exchange rate? Like, how many apples are worth a barrel of oranges?
Agree. At the very beginning, yeah, it makes sense, but what has became, because of humans' egos, their desire to have power, to rule, whatever it may be, it usually comes from desire to have as much control, much power. You can't get enough.
Yeah.
It's like we're hardwired to
want more,
yes.
more.
So that's what I'm saying. In this situation, I think the civilization has to come up with that technology has probably, it's some capacity.
They just did away with violence. That's what you're saying?
I believe so. Maybe not.
Maybe. I can listen to that argument and get behind it, but it's tough to say.
Like,
maybe that's the thing. Maybe they are so advanced because they needed to be able to get to faraway planets to harvest resources to continue living their way.
Well, that's what I said, and that's the other scenario. Is that's the reason? And in that situation, we're all fucked.
You wouldn't want to just Mad Max the shit and like live out in some underground cave and just have.
I mean, that's great, dude. They've got
go
here from
pillage
another
Walgreens and get all the ibuprofen you can and bottled water.
No,
no, he says
it's not going to be long. If they got there,
it won't be long.
If they've made their presence known, it wasn't just to shoot the shit, dude. It's not going to be a movie. And in my head, I could be an idiot. Maybe one day the aliens will come down. I didn't go out.
So the aliens are here. The aliens came. Let's say they came you've checked in with your family, everybody's still there, and the aliens are still here, and we don't really know what they're here for yet, but you see all people out in the streets, like looting and rioting and just tearing up stores and ripping things out, getting anything they can. Would you join in on that?
No.
Oh.
Why?
I might. Because if the whole society's collapsing, we might as well just get some of the things that we need. Let's go ahead and tear down this capitalistic system while the aliens are invading.
But people aren't doing it you're not tearing it down capitalistic thing for anything but your own personal gain then.
Yeah.
You're not leading some Spartacist revolution.
No, the aliens are leading the revolution.
Well, I do think that. What about this scenario then?
Yes.
Are we still? Yeah, we're just still recording. I almost forgot we're recording a podcast.
Just talking.
But I think in this, say these aliens were from Earth in this scenario.
Okay, aliens from Earth.
So
Cthulhu,
a civilization pre-Ice Age had become so advanced they knew the Ice Age was coming. There's already humans on Earth that came up with the technology. They traveled, were setting out another planet. But now they've somehow been keeping eyes on. So these are humans.
They left Adam and Eve back for us, and we've all came from Adam and Eve.
Okay, but in my scenario, hypothetically,
yes,
there was humans before that.
Yes.
And so say that there's a possibility that there is a human civilization way more advanced on Earth, humans, that have already came up with, and we are the beings. They've already gotten past all this shit that we've thought, and they come back. Now, wouldn't that be a cool spin zone? To the end, they're coming back because they're trying to show the error of the current human ways, and they're familiar with Earth, and that would be...
It'd be like the Wall-E spaceship coming back to Earth. All these oversized humans that have been floating around in space for generations on generations on generations.
Well, they're just floating around in space.
What, they went to a whole nother planet and inhabited it?
Yes.
Okay. And now they're coming back to be like, what have you done to the mecca of humanity?
No, I don't think they'd ask, what have you done? I think they'd understand.
They'd understand.
They'd be like, yes, this is what you've done. This is how you fix it. I mean, that's just a cool food for thought.
Yeah,
I think there's theories out there that there has been more advanced civilizations on Earth than we have.
Yeah. I think thinking about like what somebody's reaction would be if aliens were coming to the planet, like what they would do. I just think it's so interesting that everybody's like, I wouldn't loot or riot, like if everybody else is tearing apart stores and like getting the last little bits of supplies.
Well, I mean, you're saying that, but I think that I know myself. I don't ever rush to do what everybody's doing. Sometimes I do, but it's not because everyone's doing it. Like,
it just is like a ditch effort in that part. If everybody's...
Gosh, nothing causes me more anxiety than to think about running. I'd rather die than to be subdued to a crowd, a quick trip, and gosh, he grabbed the last Zany. Fuck! I couldn't.
I'd go for pharmacies and grocery stores, mostly pharmacies.
Humans turn into animals quite quickly, dude.
Yeah, but medicine would be like the most valuable thing in some sort of post-apocalyptic type world. If our society just was totally collapsing, if you had access and had a bunch of medicine. That's like gold, and imagine what that would be like, because nobody would be making it. Nobody would have access to it. So if you could go out and loot and riot as everybody else is and try to stockpile as much medicine as you can, you're going to be...
But again, then right there, like you're showing your own selfish... And that's what
I'm looking how I'm going to be the leader of the crazy world.
And I think that is part of the problem. People don't have each other's best interests. What can I get that's valuable so I can be the richest person in this time?
Well, look, hey, I'm going to have medicine. I can take care of people, but...
That's not what your thought would be. You just said it would be gold.
It would be. It'd be the gold of the post-apocalyptic world.
I get human instinct, like you want to take care of yourself. It's hardwired in you, but I think that it was also hardwired in us, which it's been lost. Like to help, like that is a power that humans can have, is a conscious to help other people, and people can lift each other up. Somewhere along the line, that's been lost. Now, granted, you still see things on a day-to-day basis.
You can help others and still have your best interest above that. Because everybody should have their own best interest first. You shouldn't help yourself at the expense of hurting, or you shouldn't help somebody else at the expense of hurting yourself.
I don't know, man. Imagine if everybody else had the best interest of other people, then you would be getting taken care of without being selfish and having selfish motivations.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
in a
fair.
perfect world, if you cared about Tom more than you wanted to help Tom, but you want to take care of yourself to the point where you want to be able to make sure you take care of your family and loved ones. But beyond that, you want to take care of Tom just as badly and make sure him and his family is good, and then vice versa. He has those same thoughts, and if everybody had that thought, that would be utopia.
Yeah, you're right. But instead, we have a world where everybody's ingrained with Tom should be able to take care of himself because I have to take care of myself.
Yeah, but I just think that's a flawed. Like, we're missing an opportunity as a species. We went wrong at some point.
Where did we get fucked up?
And I'm not saying to not make decisions that will help you and your family, but then people twist that, and like people lie to themselves, and they make decisions that say, I need more and more and more money because I'm taking care of my family. That's just a fucking lie at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. Who knows?
That's just you gave me this hypothetical.
Yeah, I'm just saying if the aliens were invading,
I truly think it is.
I'd probably go get me a new drum set. Brad Lee, Sublime, he went and got himself.
You're talking about this like it's April 26th, but dude, this is aliens. This isn't fucking Rodney King getting beat down by the police.
That's what I'm saying. So even more of a situation for looting and rioting if aliens are coming. Like if we can all loot and riot for things like that, then I think it's okay if we do it when aliens are coming.
Man. And I think it's been so, I don't know, dude, I will just stand on this. I really think that human beings are so fucking selfish and think first. And like you said, it's been beaten down and hard, but I think that there's also
it's ingrained in you that it's your responsibility to take care of your own self.
But that has just been, to what point? But when you say it's also ingrained in you to want to help others because it feels good to do so.
Yeah, I mean, we're a communal species. We always look to live in communities. Dude. It's, obviously getting lesser and lesser.
It's predatory.
The emotional connections of people to other people are disappearing because they're making connections to things on their phones and, whatever else.
And I'm not saying these are bad people around them. These are not, I'm not saying they're bad, but like look at live golfers and they say, and people, well, they're taking care of generations of their family. And then they'll say that. But do you think, I'm not saying that's bad or right or whatever, but do you think that's actually a thought process? Oh, maybe. Like I want to make sure my lineage is taken care of for all these years upon years.
Yeah, but maybe because that's the world that we've been brought up into, right? Is like, if you have an opportunity to better your situation in any kind of way, you do it, or you're not making the best decisions for your family.
But to reach that level of success where you're setting up generations of your family,
yes,
could you argue that you had to put so much time into that craft to get so good that maybe you neglected being there mentally for your kids, and maybe you're setting up, maybe they'll be financially secure, but now they have been left with daddy or mommy issues, and now that's a cyclical thing. So people are saying they're doing everything for their family to support their family, but are you?
No, I hear you. Because the more you make yourself available for financial gains, the more you expose yourself for emotional shortcomings. So I could see that, but that's not it's not the world that us as humans have made for ourselves.
Exactly.
So maybe we should just go ahead and let these aliens in.
That's what I'm saying, dude. We got to the same place. And that's why I don't think I'd be rushing out to get with all these fucking bozos.
I don't give a shit about the bozos. I just figure I'd stockpile my little supplies and, live off in my little quiet corner with my peeps somewhere. And then, if I get people coming to me saying, "I hear you got these stockpiles," like, I don't know, do I? and then I'd be,
but that's
whatever.
the thing too. Is like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, we've
So
gone.
now
on
that we
that.
talked about the aliens, let's see. I didn't really jot any other notes down. I didn't have any other good little topic discussions coming to the forefront.
Well, I think we've hit on quite a few. I mean,
Yeah.
topics. I think this feels like. I guess the only last thing I could think of is what we haven't done yet.
Oh, a little show review, yeah?
Sit, talk, and listen.
Yeah. That was a good one. I think so. If
All
I
right,
remember
so our
correctly.
last episode, you know that guy from Fast and the Furious, Paul Rudd?
That was me.
Welcome back to Sit, Talk, and Listen, the podcast that's like your favorite coffee shop. Casual, a bit chaotic, and guaranteed to keep you entertained. Ooh. In today's episode, we dive into the wild world of routines and ponder the eternal question, how much planning is too much planning?
Good question.
Zavy is ready to unleash his rant about vacation itineraries
Yeah, you're not a fan. You didn't want to be tied down to
that are more packed
schedules.
than his grandma's overstuffed Thanksgiving turkey.
Shouts out,
Pat.
Pat.
As football season kicks off, we chat about pro and college football, and Xavier gives his way too early championship predictions.
It's true. They're there.
Will his picks end up as accurate as his fantasy football team's strategic lineup?
See?
So
Look
far,
at
so good.
Chat GDP coming
And
for the win.
speaking of hometown pride, we debate the Mount Rushmore of St. Louis athletes. Will it be a slam dunk or strikeout? No slam dunks. No basketball players.
No basketball players. We had the Hawks.
We also revisit our discussion on popular food dishes and their ingredient rankings and give a shout out to Favaz's on the Hill, serving up what we declare as the best lasagna in the Midwest.
It was good. Good lasagna.
Not as much comedy in this one, though. Just kind of really
I asked them to make it humorous. I guess it decided
emphasize humorous, this one.
Emphasize
Put
humorous.
Wacky and Zany.
Okay.
Wacky and Zany for the next
Give us a wacky and zany summary for a podcast, Chat GDP.
In a nostalgic twist, Oasis teases a set of reunion shows. Are they the comeback we've been waiting for? Or just a nostalgic trip down memory lane? We also explore the last time you Googled your name and what really lurks in those terms and conditions. We all click through without a second thought.
Yeah.
Plus, we read and react to the AI-generated summary from our last episode. And
The
Xavier
feedback loop continues.
Xavier has had enough of impatient and rude drivers. His road rage might just be the highlight of the show. I don't think it was.
It wasn't a highlight.
So buckle up, grab a snack, and tune in for all this and more on today's episode of Sit, Talk, and Listen.
See, that was just like too polished. Good job, though, Chat GDP. But that was exactly what that last episode was about, I'd say. All those things and more.
Yeah, we're going to have to go Wacky and Zany.
Wacky and zany. You got bit by your first dog on the job.
I did. Yeah, I did.
Sad days.
Yeah, yeah, man. Then it almost happened again. The next day, I was delivering. These neighbor dogs come running out, and dude, so I just throw the package in the middle of the driveway. I drive off, and these dogs are running in the middle of fucking Highway CC out in Festus, all like to the point like I'm having to. They're running in front of my truck. Where if I kept driving, I'm hitting them.
Hell yeah.
So just stupid.
Yeah.
I have to go back to that next house the next day. Same dogs start coming running again, and then
You just punched the dog?
no,
Oh.
this guy who owns the house I was delivering to came out with a BB gun and was shooting at the dog.
Hell yeah. What?
Got
What?
him back to the. He said those motherfucking dogs. He said those aren't even my dogs. I said, I know.
Thanks
He
for
said,
being.
he said, he said they've been coming over here and attacking my dog. He said I've been having to shoot it with a BB gun.
That's crazy. Well, I guess it checks out. Missouri.
It was crazy. Shirt off, like a Hoosier Rambo.
Just Hoosier Rambo. Classic Jefferson County stuff.
Yeah.
So Missouri, we are like one of the leading states in the country for puppy mills. So I'm not surprised we got all these crazy dogs out there in the boonies.
Dude, just off-leash. Like, what are these people thinking? Like, they live right off of a highway.
They're not thinking. They're like, oh, dog gets hit. I don't care. We'll just go get another puppy from Puppy Mill.
I mean, this guy, he had a problem with it because his dog, who is well-behaved, just laying there, older dog. Yeah. And these dogs come over and attacking it, so he's fucking...
Yeah, I'd be pissed.
He's shooting back. Babies.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
So, yeah, that's like... It's a little in the... That's the only Tales from FedEx that I have.
Tales from the FedEx truck.
Got bit. Almost got bit again somehow. Back to back. When it rains, it pours. But I'm still standing.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, that's.
Yeah, wedding season. I don't have any weddings to go to this year personally, but 'tis wedding season.
Yeah.
What'd you say? Fall. Did you ever think about? If you could wedding crash, like the movie, like do you think if you could do that confidently, walk into somebody else's wedding and act like you belong?
Could I? Yes. Would I? Probably not.
Okay. Let's say somebody.
I could do it for content.
I could do it for content. How would somebody if somebody offered you money to do it? Would you do it? If somebody said, "All right, $500, you got to go crash this wedding and hang out for an hour and a half at the reception and act like you belong."
Yeah. I think I could be charming enough that even if like they start be like, "Do any of us know him?" But he's one time, I could turn up at a wedding.
Okay,
I think I could. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see.
I think I could bring an energy that nobody would question. Like even like they wouldn't care. I'll just come there. My game plan would be come in there, have a fun fucking time, read the room a little bit. You got to take a minute to read the room.
Yeah, and then do you make your presence really known, or do you just try to be low key?
On the dance floor, yeah. You got to get, I think it's the best way. You got to be the life of the party because if you're going to crash a wedding, you don't want to be a weird guy standing in the corner and people are like, who's
ask
that?
More questions about it. Yeah, if you're like the quiet
you
guy.
go in, nobody's going to question the guy that's just turning up and like everybody wants a fun wedding. Even the bride, if like you're bringing energy and shit to the dance floor, like if you're at like you want people to be on the dance floor at your wedding.
Yeah.
So if you're up there, you're getting free drinks, you're turning up, maybe, whatever.
I'd be interested in that. We should make a YouTube channel where we just crash weddings.
It'd be fun. Yeah, that would be fun. That's what I'm saying. It has to be for purpose, but not for like you can't go in there like no pranks. You're not there to ruin this person's life. If you're going there, at least bring some bring some energy, dude. Like have fun with these people on their wedding. You're crashing their wedding.
True.
You're eating their food, drinking their free drinks. Give the bride make it memorable for them, and it's a win-win for everybody. It's fun. It'd be a fun thing to watch.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. They look back at their wedding pictures. They're like, who was this guy? They're like, I don't know, but he was having a great time.
And that'd be awesome. Like if you were at your wedding and somebody came in, crashed it, but like they were just great vibes. They had everybody having fun. Would you look back and be like, what the fuck? Or would you be like, dude, that was awesome?
I'd probably be a little bit like, what the fuck? Because I'm going to bring the good vibes. I don't need somebody else showing up that I have no idea who they are and trying to act like they're the vibe master. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying I'm going there to act like I'm the vibe master, but if my purpose was to crash the wedding, bringing good vibes, I think would be your best.
Yeah, that's your best success. Yeah, I mean, that's your best plan for success. I agree.
And don't get too drunk. You don't be the asshole.
Yeah.
You got to read the room, survey the field.
Give a speech, maybe?
Now, that's to another level.
That'd be bold. You don't even know their names. Just say
yeah, and then I think that's going into the territory where you're now making this about you, and taking away from the wedding.
Said I just never known a bride and groom to be so in love as these guys.
Yeah, see, no, I can do that.
So no wedding crashing. No wedding crashing.
Now, would you just have to go? So, would you be there where when you're crashing this wedding reception? Do you have to go in for like the meal and shit? So, like at that point, you're at a table with. You're just gonna,
who do you know?
That's when it gets interesting. Or do you go there after dinner when the music starts?
I don't know. I mean, it'd be the easiest to blend in if it was after dinner, when the music's going. That'd be the easiest for blending. But I think it'd be more entertaining if somehow you infiltrated the whole day. Like you go to the ceremony, go to the dinner, all that stuff. I'm the date of cousin Jill or whatever.
Yeah. You'd have to
although somehow you're not sitting next to your date at the table, which would be funny.
No. We'd have to cross that bridge when we got there.
Yeah.
I could think of something.
He said I could think of something.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude.
Would be interesting.
It's possible.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would not want to go though and ruin the bride's day.
No.
So you'd have to figure out how. I would not want to do that. I would want to figure out a way to navigate both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as somebody and myself that's DJ'd weddings,
But I
it's
think
interesting. It's always interesting walking around a wedding, and you can tell that people know you're not part of the party. They're like, this person's not in the group of people or whatever.
But trying to put myself in the psyche of the bride or the groom, and you're seeing somebody you don't recognize, you might be embarrassed, and you don't want to ask too many questions.
Oh, sure.
Because you don't want to offend somebody. Do we know you? You're going to try to play along and be like, yeah, you're just going to assume it's your partner's cousin or something that you've never met.
In that same line of thinking, I actually had a situation this past weekend. I ran into old buddy Will Gardell, former bass player for City Lights, played together in high school in a band.
Saxophone player.
Yeah, among other instruments. But yeah, he was a all-state jazz sax player back in the day. Anyway, he got married probably 7 years ago or so, I want to say, maybe even 8 at this point. And I was at his wedding. I went to his wedding, this and that and the other thing. But over the weekend, I ran into him. I was playing a gig, and after our band got done, the band he was playing with was playing after us. So we're sitting there talking, and he was like, "Oh, this is my wife. I'm not, Alyssa. This is, Bobby. Not sure if you've met him or this and that and the other thing." And I'm like, "Yeah, hi." And she's like, "Hi, I don't know if we've met." I'm like, "I was at your wedding, actually." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, is it rude for me to be like, oh, I was at your wedding, or should I have just been like, hi, and played along with the
because
re-meeting?
That's at the day. She's not going to remember every single person,
right? And that's what I told her. I'm like, weddings are busy days, and if you're the one being married, it goes by in a blink of an eye.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not like I was mad that she didn't remember me. I just made mention of oh, I was at your wedding. We have met
this
before.
out, you would probably be easier to crash a wedding because the bride and the groom, they're going around, they're seeing everybody, they're not thinking who the fuck is this?
Yeah No, you're right. Especially the bigger the wedding, the easier it is to crash.
It could be done. We can make some fun content out of it.
It'd be interesting,
dude. Especially at this age too. We're at a good age where it's if we're still in high school, early college days, maybe early college, it's still a little weird if you're really old and you're by yourself.
Yeah.
But we're at an age now where you could just be fucking cousin.
It's divorced your cousin John.
Yeah, your cousin Terry.
Cousin Terry. Yeah.
So
maybe we'll have to plan that. We'll figure out.
We'll look it up. We'll make it happen.
Somebody let us know when there's some big weddings happening you've heard, and you think we could crash.
Out of state would be a fun one. But anyways, I think that this is about time to wrap up the podcast.
Bow on this bitch.
I got to get home.
Yeah, so hopefully we will get back and talking to everybody before it's been another 3 weeks. And I think that'll do it for this episode.